Hello and welcome to our live masterclass. Lovely to have your company here on Jewellery Maker. I'm Vicki and I've got the pleasure of introducing to you Laura Binding. Laura's going to bring us a fantastic hammered wired pendant for us today. And as you can see, it's all about swirls, sweeping, design, gradings of wire, texture, detail. It's there. It's pretty much all wire technique in one.
Yeah, it's a real nice fun pendant. It looks really good, but it's actually really quick and easy to do.
And that's what we want. We want rewarding jewellery, but easy to approach. And in many ways, I think often is the case with pieces like this, it's breaking it down to step-by-step instructions. And also almost like a jigsaw puzzle. When you put one piece in, then the next piece obviously comes in, you know, to build it up. And that's when you get this kind of result. Yeah,
and it's also about sort of being able to look at it and think, right, is this going to go here? Does it look right there? And actually using your sort of instincts to play about with it to make it look right, really.
Yes, because a lot of your jewellery is not exacting science. It's not an X plus Y equals Z. In fact, many of your designs are much more freeform than that. Yeah. But they always have the same formula of finishing quality, but it's very much a freeform and understanding where the wire wants to go and letting it go.
Yeah, sort of going with the natural curve of the wire, you know, not sort of bending it out of its shape, because you'll see that suddenly it won't work or it won't look as good. So you just need to have a look at it and sort of just go with the flow of it, really.
Go with the flow. Maybe that's what we should call this. Just go with the flow. We have got a gorgeous opportunity for you to create this exact piece. So the look that you've got here, you can achieve with the bundle that we're about to bring you, and with this combination. And you actually, if you start to look at it, you don't need that many gemstones to create this look, do you?
Nope, you don't at all. And the wire will go on for a long time as well, because although you're using 0.4, you're using it really sparingly because you're just using it to bind.
And the thing is that wire always makes gemstones go further. Wire just naturally makes your jewellery go further when you're creating it. But here, this is the perfect proof of the pudding, really. When you've got one scented stone, you've got a handful of additional, and the rest is all wire work. And the finishing result is quite magnificent, isn't it? So let's give you the potential to be able to make, I would suggest probably like at least 6 or 7, if not more, 8 or 9 of these necklaces with this bundle. Yes, it is. It is going to be a bit of a treat, this offer, because not only are we giving you a bundle that offers you the chance to make this exact piece of jewellery that Laura's created, but also give you the chance to continue to develop that technique, to keep on expanding on those techniques that you're going to learn today, with the remainder of the ingredients that we give you. And those ingredients are pretty special. Take a look at this first 2-strand combination, and it's combination of the larger coins working along with those gorgeous matted finish, gorgeous qualities. Here you have your frosted agate, those lovely rounds. I love the frosted.
Really nice. It's hard to actually believe they're gemstones because they're just really beautiful.
They're beautiful in a really different way to what we're used to. They feel like gems because they're the coolness. They've got that sound, you know, as a genuine gemstone. But the interesting thing is they look really different to what we're used to, aren't they? They're gorgeous. Never seen those before. Then on top of that, you've got your larger puffy coins. These are 25mm, and they are your green ocean jasper. And that ocean, you can really get that lovely movement of waves that seem to come across the banding, you know. But I'm not talking roaring waves that crushing against the shoreline. I'm thinking about those soft, gentle waves, you know, when it just tranquilly hits the sand and then retracts back, and then it comes back again, and then it tracks. That's kind of what you've got. You've got that lovely flow across the gemstones. You've really got that gentle movement, and each one of the bandings, each one of those waves that are hitting the lapping the shore, spit it out, Vix, you've got there really reflected in each aspect of this gemstone. And of course, that's just one. That's just one with, say, 20, 30, 40 waves of movement over the stone. That's one one of them. And how many are you getting? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, at least 16 on average on a strand, at least 16 as an average quantity. So that could essentially be 16 pendants, you know, 16 centerpieces to the neckline. Then on top of that, you've got the wire, because of course we can't have a Laura binding wire centerpiece if you don't have the wire, and you've got all the wire you need. We are giving you a combination of your 1.25, we've given you the 1 mil, and on top of that the threading and probably more of the weaving gauge, and that's your 0.4 mil gauge. So 1.25, 1 mil and your 0.4 mil all together in this bundle. And it is a bundle of opportunity. As I say, it's not just about making one of these neckline pieces, it's about giving you the ingredients to make multiple pieces of jewellery. Of course, all the techniques that you're going to learn in the next hour or so, you can then apply. And as we often find in the Wall of Fame, etc., you know, somebody, did you hear today, somebody had only caught half of your last masterclass. So they did up to where they'd got, they forgot to record the rest of it, and so what they said is that then I just took where I was and I went off in my own direction, and it was such a lovely result.
That's nice.
But actually it's really nice to know that, that you're almost like just like putting a stone into the water, and then the ripple effect of then hopefully seeing in 5 or 6 weeks time somebody go, well actually I got the inspiration from Laura and then this is the result. It's not the exact piece of jewellery, but it has a flavour and it's got a taste of it, but it's something totally different. And that's the excitement about jewellery making, I guess.
I think so, and that's why I love the style of work that I do, because it doesn't matter how many times you replicate a piece, it will always look different, because you just cannot, even if you're follow it to the T, it will always be different because
it's a unique pattern. Beautiful. An offer that you have got here, your masterclass bundle. It's your ocean depths combination with your ocean jasper, and on top of that you've got your frosted agate with all of that wire. That's 30 meters of wire for less than £20. It is a masterclass exclusive. That is a masterclass exclusive price tag, £19.95. Now I think I'm right in saying if you tried to purchase all of these wires just by themselves, well that must be closer to £15. It must be over £15 if I think about it. Must be nearly £16. So if you start to put that in perspective, then you've got your gemstones for £4. So that's £2 a piece. £2 for each strand of your gemstones. So that's the way we do our masterclass deals. We like to make sure that they are exclusive masterclass offers. And if you want to replicate the exact look that Laura has created, then you will need all of these ingredients. We are going to give you an alternative that Laura's going to start to work with now to create her actual masterclass piece with. So you're going to use the alternative, same sizes, same feature gemstones in terms of the impact, but actually you're just using different wire colour and different gems themselves. Yeah, it's only because obviously it'd be quite nice for you to be able to see what it would look like in the alternative colourway, really. So, and also because it's a slightly different shape, so it covers using different drill, you know, where the drill holes would be. Perfect. So we're off. We're ready to go. And I guess the first thing we have to say is that you have got the 3 gauges. Let's just reiterate, you are working with all 3 gauges within this there. So it's 1.25, 1 and your 0.4 mil gauge all together within this combination. And you're starting off with the... I'm starting off with 1 mil wire. With the structure. Basically, the pendant itself is formed of the 1 mil wire and the 0.4 wire. Okay. The 1.25 is to make the sort of choker effect, to make it, the torque, to make it nice and strong. So for this, I will be using 1 mil or 0.4. So just in case I forget to mention what it is, that's what I'm going to be using. Brilliant, thank you. Okay. So what I want to do is I'm actually going to form the frame of the pendant. I'm going to start off by forming the frame. So for this, I'm going to take a length of probably about 1/2 metre. I'm just going to cut that. Okay, and what I want to do, now this is where you decide what size you want your pendant to be, if it's going to sit around the stone, whether the stone's going to sort of stand out a bit more. This is where you can sort of arrange all of that. So what I'm going to do is just bring the 2 ends together. I'm just going to it will naturally form its own sort of teardrop effect. Yes. Okay, so you just play about with that so you're happy with the size. Now put your stone in and have a look, because I'm using a different colourway here, so the stones are slightly different. You can see here, this one's going to sit a little bit more like this, whereas the round one actually sits around the bottom of it. So, you know, straight away it's a completely different look. Yep. Okay, but what I want to do, when I'm happy with the size, I'm going to just take my hammer and my block. Okay.
and I'm going to just hammer it. Okay, I want to hammer it quite flat. Just a couple of hits. Sorry.
Creating an earthquake on the desk because all of the tools just go cascading.
Sorry. Okay, so I'm just going to do this quite quickly.
And you are literally flattening, aren't you?
Yeah, and you can see, so I flattened that side there. If I hold that up, you can see. Okay. Now you can see there's a few little marks on there. Okay, but what I'm just going to turn it over now. What you'll see is on the other side, hopefully,
smooth.
Should be smooth, or a lot smoother, see?
Yeah.
Okay, so just use that as your front.
Okay.
All right. So, and by doing that, it's helped it retain its shape.
It's just literally gone.
Okay. Right.
Structured instantly, amazing.
Yeah, that's it. And the thing is, it still gives you that bit of movement. If you think actually I want it a little bit bigger or a little bit smaller, you've still got that sort of movement within it.
Yeah, that's the amazing thing about wire like this. It's got malleability, but it's an exceptional ductility. The memory of it, once it's placed there, its memory's so strong, and yet the ductility of it, which is why it's perfect to work with in this kind of occasion. It's malleable. It's going to move for you, but then it'll hold its shape. Those two aspects are just imperative for this type of design, aren't they?
It's my favourite combination. I love using that thicker wire to have that strength and that structure, but still be able to manipulate it.
Yeah, get it.
Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to cut a length of the 0.4 wire. What I want to do is I'm actually going to cut a longer length. The reason being that I can now start to wrap and then just cut off as I need to go along. Okay. Rather than cutting lots of little sections and then maybe it being a bit fiddly, it's easier if you just have one longer piece.
About half a metre, do you reckon?
Probably about half a metre.
Not quite, but nearly.
I'm just going to move these out of the way because I can imagine they're going to do a bit of a runner later, so just bear with me. You can see what's going to happen, it's going to go everywhere. Okay, so again, this part depends on the shape of your stone. For this one, obviously, if it's a circle or a disc coin, your drill hole is going to be either, you can put it to the side. Yeah. So if you look on this one, you'll be able to see, if I can just show you, I'll just point to it here. The drill hole is actually here. Yeah. Okay, so I've actually bound it this way. Yeah. Okay, so because this is actually top to bottom drilled, I'm going to have to do it slightly different. I'm just going to have a think about how I'm going to do that. So what I'm actually going to start off with is I'm actually just doing it like that. I'm going to bind it to the bottom, and again, what I'm going to do, whenever I do any of the bindings, they're going to be pretty much the same way every time. A little tiny tail, just to hold it, and then I'm going to wrap 1, 2 times round. Okay. If I was adding a piece of wire or one of the spirals, I would then place that there and bind that twice, and then bind the other side of the wire twice. But I'll show that again in a minute. Because I'm adding the stone, it's slightly different.
Why is that so specific? It's
just because it keeps it looking the same throughout, because you'll always have little sets of 2, and it just keeps a bit of a neatness throughout the design, because otherwise you could have sort of 5 wraps on one bit and 2, and then it makes it look a little bit uneven. But if you think of doing it the same way for every single piece, it keeps a bit of uniformity.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, what I'm going to do for now is I'm actually just going to place this all the way up here, because I'm going to be able to hide this with some wire. Okay, and this is actually going to bind these 2 set bits together as well. Yeah. All right, so I've just wrapped it a couple of times. Just going to go once there and cut that. I don't want to go too much because I don't have too much wire up here. Okay, it's not really secure at the moment, but it doesn't need to be. All right, it's only 0.4 wire, but I'm actually going to use the thicker wire to go around that stone and secure it. However, if you did want to bring it back down and through again, you could. Okay, so I'm just going to cut that. Okay, so there's your first sort of part. Right? Yeah. So now what I'm going to do is, again, I'm still using the 1mm wire. I'm just going to cut a length off. Not quite sure how much.
About 10 inches, not even that, 8 inches.
8. Doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be precise. What I'm going to do is a spiral. So I'm just going to put my pliers right at the very end and just turning this wire around nice and gently. The reason I'm doing it really nice and slowly is I want to keep that sort of circle. So if you can see there, it's nice and circle. Sometimes you can get a bit of an egg shape if you
go too quickly.
If you don't really turn this little part of the spiral here, it can sometimes make it go a bit egg-shaped. And again, all I'm doing is really using my pliers as a vice, and I'm just pulling it around with my fingers.
And this is again with the 1mm gauge, isn't it?
Yeah, and I mean, if you can see, I'm using my hand, and I'm able to turn it. You know, if you can't do that, you know, I know some people have dexterity problems. You can take your pliers. It's better if you've got your nylon pliers. Yeah. And you can just gently turn it around like that. Okay. So you don't have to do it with your hand if you struggle with that. Okay. Because it is a thick wire. I think I'm just so used to doing it. Okay. This is where we're going to start to sort of build it up. Now, what I want to do is catch this there we go. Actual pendant. So I'm going to place this. I want that to be right down there. So I'm going to place this. And we're just looking at it and thinking, what direction do I think it's going to work in? Will it work better like that? Okay. It's just having a look and thinking, right, which way do I want it to go? Again, I've still got some of my wire left. So I'm going to do the binding again. So I'm just around about the side where I'm going to want it to go. Taking a little tail. I'm going to go around once and twice. Okay, now I'm going to put the spiral just here. You can move it about still after. And I'm just going to secure. So let me just do this so I can see it, and I'll put it back for you now. Can you see I've just caught the spiral there? Okay, and then I'm going to just go back through again. So see what I mean about doing it in twos? Obviously you're not going to be doing this backwards. So you'll be able to do it a little bit easier than I'm making it look at the moment. But you can see there, and then I'm just going to go around the frame again. 1, 2. Now with the ends, whenever you cut the ends, you want it to be on the front. So can you just see what I mean about how it looks nice and uniform? Squeeze it together, it looks nice and uniform. Now what I would do is that little tail and that finishing wire, I'm just going to bring both to the front, and I'm just going to take my pliers. Yeah. And I'm just going to cut. And I'm just going to cut it as close to the edge as I can. Okay, take a bit more care than I have. But you can see how that looks neater, and you always cut to the front. Yes. Because obviously that's going to be away from your skin. Okay. Okay. And would you close that in? What do you mean close it in? Would you like? Would you just, you know, the very tip of it? Would you just give it a bit of a squeeze? Just take your pliers, give it a bit of a squeeze. Obviously, you'd cut it nice and close, because mine aren't very neatly done. Because I'm just going to go as close as I can, and just take that. Okay. And then, yeah, you would just go over it with your pliers, just take away any sharp edges. Oh, the next deal that I have, while Laura just finishes off that lovely spiral, you've just seen her work with around those pliers to create that curvature to the spirals. Then on top you've seen, obviously, this is a hammered pendant, therefore you need the hammer and block. So I will just quickly skip in and give you the chance to own the block, the hammer, and those round nose pliers. These are your professional tools, tools for the trade, that's for sure. These are your comfort grip round nose pliers. They are ergonomic designed, and they are fit for purpose in terms of professional design for professional jewellery finish. That's what you've got with each one of these aspects of our tools. This steel block, well, just be prepared when you get the steel block that it's fairly substantial. It needs to be. It's got to cushion some serious hammering. So with that in mind, just be prepared. It is quite heavy, but also don't just hammer straight onto the block. Perhaps protect your surface just to make sure that the intensity of the hammering just is taken by the steel block, but then is also protecting your desks. And I don't want that beautiful mahogany table of yours getting damaged. That's for sure. Now then, you buy the block, you get the chasing hammer, which you have seen Laura work with the flat and the rounded head, and on top of that you're going to get the round nose pliers, all for one price tag, and it is going to be price reduced straight to £12.95. Should be over £18, but you've got it for £12.95. And of course, if you've bought from us already today, you can add as many times as you like on a single postage and packing. And the nicest part about that is that I know there's been a lot of people watching today, a lot of people making the most of our Mad Hatters Tea Party Monday Madness offers, and if that's been you and you're just ready to add tools, well, we're giving you plenty of ingredients. Now you want the tools, and this is the tools of the trade. £12.95 is all you pay for your hammer, your chasing block, and on top of that your comfort grip around those pliers, all yours for £12.95. Okay, those pliers are really good, by the way, because they're really quite small tipped.
Yeah.
So they're really good for getting real nice spirals. Yeah. Okay, so what I'm going to just show you what I've done. So I'll talk you through this bit. So I've just attached my wire here. I'll just show you it like this. I'm just going to show you it as I did it. So I took the wire to the back, so I'm just going to show you the back. Okay, so the wire's come down from the back. It's gone only around the stone, nothing else. Around the stone, back around again. I'll just show you the front again.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I've just brought it, that one wire that went through the middle, it's just kind of basically gone around that wire, can you see? Just to form a little spiral. Yeah. That is now a lot more secure.
Got you.
Okay. If I'd wanted to hammer it, I could have hammered it. I would have had to have hammered it before I spiraled it onto the thing. Yeah. Okay. Right. This is obviously done slightly different because the stone's different, but it's nice for you to see. It's actually a lot easier with the round stone because you just go straight through the side. But with this one, it's nice to show you that you can do it with teardrops as well. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is cut some more 1mm wire. Again, just little random lengths of, you know, sort of 8 or 9 inches. You know, it's no wrong or right really. And again, I'm just going to do another spiral. Now you can make these spirals quite open or you can make them quite closed. There's complete just preference. Okay, let's see. And if I'm doing it with my pliers, just to show you, what I do is I actually open up the pliers and put them back on. So I pull it around with my hand, open and reposition. So I'm really doing minimal contact with the wire, because if I was to do this, that's when you're going to start marking it. Okay, so there's a nice little spiral. Okay, so just show you that one there. And what I want to do now is look at my design and think, right, where do I want this to go? So I can see it goes quite nicely there, or I might want to run your fingers across. What I'm doing is running my fingers just to get a natural curve in the wire, and then I'm able to go with that natural curve. So I might actually put it here, and it's a little bit like a heart like that, you can see.
Pretty.
So I'm actually just going to go with my first and put it up here, I think. Still got some of my wire left from that initial cut.
The 0.4.
Yep, and I'm going to just, again, exactly the same way. So I'm just going to go around twice. Okay, now I can easily, this is where you get that nice hammered effect. So what I could do, I'm not going to do it now because obviously it's a bit noisy, but just quickly hammer just that spiral.
Okay.
Okay.
What with one? Oh, just do it for me, just so I can see what you mean. Only because I want to know how much you do it.
Okay. It's just literally just to give it a bit of a flatness.
Right.
And that's it. Okay.
Gosh, that's it. Literally, but that's the difference between having texture or having it in the rounded or having it as the flat. Can I just hold that just so I can show everybody the difference in the profile? You see that? It really does make a difference. The hammering does make a difference to the finish, doesn't it?
And it just gives it a bit of a, like you say, a bit of a different texture. You don't have to hammer every spiral you do, or you can keep it a little bit mixed. And
it strengthens it as well, doesn't it? It work hardens it. So I mean, it's interesting that obviously the 1mm gauge is naturally quite structural anyway, but you can feel a little bit more of that tension, that strength in that. That's right. It's interesting. I mean, obviously, if you wanted to strengthen it, but you didn't want to flatten it, we have got a plastic hammer that you can use, and then just by using that, you will just strengthen it, but you won't change the actual structure of it. Yes, got you. You know, you don't have to hammer it, it's just a bit of fun. Is that the multi-head hammer? Well, we've got the multi-head, and we've also just got a plain plastic one as well. Have we? Yes. Ah, brilliant. Okay, what I did want to just show you quickly, if that's all right, is I'm going to hammer a piece of wire. I want to show you why it's important you only hammer that spiral and don't go any further than the spiral. Because it's okay if you're going to be doing straight work, okay? Yeah. But if I wanted to turn this wire, you can't actually turn it. See what happens to it? I'm going to hold it up so you can see. It just goes right out of shape. It won't naturally curve. It goes all sort of... That's probably to do with, and I've just been learning about this, this is probably to do with, hey get me, is actually the electrons inside the metal. So you've got a nucleus which is made up of protons and neutrons, and surrounding the element is electrons, and the electrons in a metal atom, right, are actually scattered like a wave. So when you hit them, what you're doing is you're bringing them out. So when they're sitting in a haphazard way and then you want to curve them, they don't want to go because they're moving in that direction now. That's where they've been formed. So it's the electrons that are holding it in that place.
I'm going to have a little lesson from you.
I was just going to say, oh my goodness me, I've never understood science, and there you have it. That's my version of science.
But I just wanted to show you that. I mean, you can do it, but I mean, if you're trying to do it now, it's going to be very hard. So if you're going to, if you do want to hammer it, form the shape first. Don't hammer crossed wires because you can end up snapping them or weakening them. Yeah. And if you do a wrapped wire, don't hammer that either because you will break it. So if I was thinking, oh, I'm actually just going to put that like this and this is going to be straight, then that would be fine to hammer it, but don't twist it or anything first.
Okay, here it is.
Again, so I'm just going to pop that on exactly the same way. If your spiral's a little bit tight, just take your pliers and just pop them in and just gently open it so you've got a nice gap to go through.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm just placing that there, and again I'm just going to go. I am going to go through there.
And are you doing the same principle of just like binding it into the place with the two stitches almost?
Yeah, because it gives it that nice neatness, and it's all it needs, because when you build it up it doesn't need any more anyway. So I'm just literally going 2 on the frame, 2 including the spiral, and 2 on the frame again. So if I just show that.
You can really see that.
Yeah.
There.
But can you see what I mean about how it just keeps it looking nice and neat? Because when you do several of them, it keeps it neat. And again, just cutting that wire on the front. So I'm just going to cut that one on the front now. And you can just position it about a little bit and bring that one across. And you can take your pliers and you can just re-straighten it like that and just put your pliers in and actually just sort of put it back into place. Don't forget this has still got a bit of movement as well, so you can still adjust the shape. Yes. Now I can bring that across, and this is where you can start to sort of become a bit more organic with it. So I'm just going to put my pliers in, bringing it down. Just done a bit of a loop, so you can see that there. Just hold that flat for you. Okay, and you can just bring it across. Now just holding my hand again, I'm just holding it. It is moving because it's only got one sort of binding on it, but I've just done another little bit of a loop, and then I just bring it down here, and I can do another little spiral now and bind that spiral again. So I mean, it's just a matter of building this up. So I'll just do that quickly.
Can I just let you know that well over half the stock of our bundle has already been allocated. So if you would like to join us, £19.95 for our initial masterclass. So this is the piece to create. This is the offer that we've got, £19.95 for this particular bundle to get this creation. Then we have got for you what Laura's actually working with the demonstration. So let's quickly give you the alternative straight away. Where this is juncture. I hope you don't mind there, Laura.
It's fine.
Let's give you this combination. Now this is exactly what Laura's working with right now. So if you want to get the exact look that Laura's, give or take Mother Nature's fingerprints on the gemstones, and of course the individuality of the pattern, but the exact formation of sizes and of course the wire, then this is the bundle for you. You've got here a combination of your flat drops and your rounds, and these are faceted rounds. You've got a combination of your purple impression jasper. Those are 25 by 18mm in size, and then on top of that your brown colour agate faceted rounds. Those are 8mm to match, and they're 32cm strand. And again, let's remind ourselves, you only need one of those beautiful jasper and then maybe even just half a dozen or so of the faceted rounds. So once more, how many pieces of jewellery are you going to be making? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, at least 6 or 7 of these necklaces you could achieve from this one price deal. Again, just remind you that the wire, you're getting 10 meters of each, so it's not just the right amount of wire for this one product of beautiful jewellery, but actually multiple pieces. 1.25, 1 meter, 1 mil, and on top of that your 0.4 mil gauge, and they're all 10 meters of each. So 1.25, 1 mil, and your 0.4 mil as well. Those are your copper coloured wire, and it's Bit of a cheeky price tag. Bit of a cheeky price tag there. It's a masterclass price tag of just £17.95. If you want to join us, this is the time to do so. 0800 644 655, or you can join us at www.jewellerymaker.com. £17.95. You've got the beautiful combination of the featured gemstones, the rounds that work alongside it in the torque necklace, and the wire for £17.95. So, I presume we're building up now.
Yeah, we're building up. So I'm just going to show you how I've just done this one little section, because what I want to do is in effect I'm layering, so you can see how just by placing that on, I've not done that yet. And even though originally I've had it all in the frame, I actually quite like that being placed over the frame as well. So this is where you can actually look at it and go, actually I quite like that where it's going over the frame a little bit, you know. So don't think, oh, I've got to make it fit into the frame. If you like the look of it, go with the look of it.
That would mess with my head. That would so mess with my head.
Really?
I've got a frame and then you're going out of it, or you're going out of the frame.
Or you can just go in the frame.
Yeah.
If you need it to be in the frame, it's totally fine. If you're a person that doesn't need it to be in the frame.
Anybody else? Anybody like me?
If you're a structured person.
Are you suggesting that I'm a structured kind of?
Yeah, you are.
Am I?
You are.
Am I? Yeah, definitely. I'm 100%. I can't do asymmetric. I can't do freeform. I can't do I just can't do it.
Can't
just
go against
messes with my head.
I get people come into my workshops, and they come into my workshops to learn how to
freeform.
Yeah.
Fight the structure. I shall fight that structure.
So if you're somebody like Vicki, and
then you need to join a workshop with Laura.
And your brain says it needs to go in a frame, make it fit to go in a frame. But if you're somebody that can actually go with an organic, freeform design,
who's natural,
then you might look at it like I said, and you might say, actually, I quite like that. So what I'm saying is there's no wrong or right.
Now, hang on a minute. Before we move on, though, how have you done that?
This is what I'm about to show you.
Brilliant. That's all right. I was just going to say you're about to put something on. I went, no, don't do that. I don't know what you've done yet.
Okay, so I'm just going to move that to the side a minute.
Okay.
Is it bugging you that it's not in the frame?
Yeah. Can you do one that doesn't fit in time frame?
I might. It depends. Okay, so again, what I've done is I'm just doing a nice little spiral. Okay, again, I just tend to cut the same sort of lengths off every time. You know, get a box and put all your cut-offs in there if you've got a couple of cut-offs. You can always use them for clasps and links and things. Okay, so I've just created a spiral. Okay, now what I'm going to do is take my pliers, I'm going to place them in, and just wrap that wire around, just so you can see what I've done there.
So that's probably about what, a centimetre and a half away from the end of the spiral. That was anyway, yeah, around about, yes, just agree with me. The structure of things. Oh, I just realised it's meant to be freeform, isn't it? It's not meant to be precise. No, okay, shut up, Vix. Okay. If you're like me and you need to know the exacts, it's about a centimetre and a half distance. If you're going to go freeform, then do whatever you like.
I just put my pliers in and just bend the wire. Okay, so now I've repositioned my pliers so that they're now here. And what I want to do is just bring the wire around again. And by doing this, and then you can just take them out and just naturally, I'll just do this without my fingers being in the way. But I'm just bending the wire around, and you can see there. Okay, so you can see it just gives it another sort of loop, and then I can just bring that round just like that. Okay, and again, you could just repeat that again here, probably about a centimetre down.
Do you think?
About. And again, it's just wrapping that wire around, and then just continuing to bring it around. You know, you can use your pliers if you want to, but I find it easier to use my hands. But this is a thick wire, so obviously if it was a finer wire it would be easier. Okay, so you can see it's almost like a little musical twirl. All right.
Technical, very technical.
A musical twirl.
If you want to know the structural name for that, that's a treble clef.
Yeah, now I know why we don't work together. It's a bit of a bang, don't we, for this very reason.
I think I might have just turned into the Mad Hatter just slowly.
You're just morphing it. Right, okay. So again, this one looks different, but that's the whole point, is it's just messing around and sort of seeing what happens, okay?
That's gorgeous.
Okay, and then again, just place that on. Let's hope it fits.
just for Vicki.
Just for Vicki.
Can I just move that into the shot?
Yeah,
Thanks.
so I'm just going to place it. It doesn't fit, but that's fine. We can play about with it, because what we can do is just place it behind.
Can we? Can we?
We'll make it work.
We'll make it fit.
Okay. All right, so it's just a matter of repositioning it, you know, and then just look, it fits. Okay. So we're just going to place it there like this, and now I need to obviously bind and anchor that. So again, I'm still using that same length of wire that I initially cut off.
Oh goodness! So the wire's going to go a long way.
Yeah, you can see I barely used the 0.4 wire.
Exactly.
Okay, obviously it needs to be strengthened, and that's what we're doing by placing these pieces, almost layering it.
Yeah.
Okay, again, I'm just repeating the exact same thing as I've been doing, wrapping it around twice.
And out of interest, because I can't remember what you said, if I wanted to hammer that,
yep,
I wouldn't hammer it because it's layered, would I?
No, what I would do is now, quickly, before I put it on there, and if you have got that interchangeable one, it's better because it's smaller and you can get in the detail better. I have got mine, but I've left it up in the office.
Okay, well done.
Brought it with me. Notice we probably can't see, but what I'm doing is just giving it a gentle tap and just doing that gently. Mind your fingers.
But you wouldn't hit where it's crossing over.
No.
That's what you said earlier on. So don't hit where it's crossed over, just tap the bits that are individually spiraled.
Yeah, and like with this bit here, although I hammered that bit and then I attached it, before I bound that bit, I would have just quickly hammered that in there, then bound it.
Yeah, but yeah.
Okay, so I'm just going to place this on however you want it to go, really. Oh, I quite like that.
That's nice.
See what I mean about just moving it about, having a look, repositioning it, and then again it's just binding it, and it will all sort of gradually build up and become nice and strong. Okay, I'm just doing that.
How many layers do you reckon you put on in total?
I'll probably do about 4 or 5. Depends really on the look.
Of those kind of spirals?
Yeah, some of them can be just really simple. Could just be a nice simple spiral swoop and spiral, you know, like a standard sort of swirl. Or you can go a little bit more like this. Obviously, the more twists you put in it, the thicker it'll become, and the quicker it'll build up. But you can also get a little bit carried away.
Can you?
Yeah, and you'll find that you'll start to lose a detail because you can put too much on. So if I was to say put this on now, it's starting to look, it could look a bit too much.
Okay.
But I mean, it's personal preference again. All right, so what I'm going to do, so what you would do is you've got to bind it at certain points, okay? I'm actually just going to take a piece here. And again, I'm just going to anchor that on. And because we've hammered the wire frame, it's nice and strong. It doesn't matter that I'm doing this. It's not going out of shape at all. So I'm just binding that on there, position it. And it doesn't matter if you go through a different loop. Okay, so I'll just do this quickly. And I'm going to show you the how to do the bail and the actual sort of torque part of the necklace, which I just think looks quite nice. I mean, you can do any type of chain really. I just think it finishes it off quite nice. Okay, so just put that there. I'm just cutting that. And then I've still got this bit here. You can see it's not flat. So I can't leave that like that. So that's again, I just
You can't leave that like that?
No, I can't.
Right.
I might not be a structural person, but I am a bit neurotic about having things secure.
But then that's important, because if you're selling your jewellery or you're making as a gift, you want to know that as soon as you're handing it over, then it has that stability, it has that wearability, that durability. Those are essentials. They are absolutely imperative for jewellery.
The last thing you want to do is somebody be taking a cardigan and jumper off, forgot they've got next on, catch a part of it. You know, you don't want anything like that. So my one little thing that is that it has to be strong and structured.
Brilliant.
So here, I'm going to just show you. This bit here isn't actually by the edge of a frame, so I don't have to actually, so there we go. It looks really nice with the purple and copper.
It does, doesn't it? I love that colour combination.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to bind it to this little coil here. Just put that up for you to see.
You're going to do it where?
Just there.
Okay.
I'm going to put these two together, just because if I try to bring it to the side, it's going to ruin the look. And then we'll just do exactly the same, so I'm just going to bind it to one wire. There's not really going to be, that's it. So I'm just going to bind the wire around one coil twice. Oops, it wants to join already. Oh, that's right. Just going to wrap them together, a bit like when Alison did her little bird.
Yes,
just securing them together like that. Okay, so just threading it through. Sorry, it's feeling pressure. There we go. There we go. And then it's now, I mean, I haven't finished that properly, but now that's going to be secure. And again, if you think that's not quite secure, just go over some bits if you want to, or add another little layer, and that will strengthen it. I'm going to leave that for now because I want to actually go and show you how to do the next part of the necklace. Okay, but this is just something you build up and build up and up. When you're happy with it, I mean, even now I can still change the shape of it. What I do like doing is just with my hands, just gently moulding it to give it almost a bit of a sort of curve. So you can see there, it just gives it a bit of a...
bit bulbous.
Yeah, it just gives it a little bit of a shape, really. So you can do all of that. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is create the sort of coil bail. Okay, so what I'm doing is bring my two wires across, get my way. Okay, and what I want to do is the gap in the middle needs to be big enough to actually take one of the beads. Now the beauty of these beads are that they go on the 1.25 wire. So, you know, it's nice if you can have that little extra feature. On this one I've decorated with the wire. It actually, that's just decoration purely, it doesn't need to be on there, it's just using up that wire. So taking my pliers, probably about a centimetre in.
Yes.
I'm just going to bring the wire up. And I'm going to do the same on the other side and just bring the wire up. It doesn't have to be perfect. The point is that this is going to be, the bead is going to sit here in the middle here. So it's probably going to be a little bit big, but it doesn't really, so you can't see past my fingers, but you get the idea.
Yeah.
Okay. Again, this is something you can tweak. You can sort of straighten it out and make it a bit shorter if you want to. What I'm doing there is taking my pliers, going back over the bend, and then just bending it in a different place. And then that's probably a bit better because it's a bit smaller. Yeah. Okay, now go for a bit nicer. Okay, these don't really need to be this long. This is something I do by eye. If you want to measure it,
2.5 inches.
There you go, see.
Ish.
Ish, give or take. And all I'm going to do is the widest part of my pliers, or if you've got bell making pliers. Yeah. Okay. I want them to be quite large. On this one, I'm going to go for the third largest size, just because it doesn't look that big on here, but when you put the wire around it, it's bigger than you realise. Okay. And all I'm doing is I want the coil to go outwards. Okay. So if you can see that there, my coil is, if I take them out, you can see it's going out. Out. Okay. I'm just going to bring that all the way down. Yeah. Okay, and I'm just going to repeat on the other side.
So you just turn it around, don't you? Yeah, okay. That's how you get it right, to make sure you get it.
Yeah, and I flip the, you probably noticed I started off, I tend to flip my pliers around a lot, sorry. Yeah. But it's just until I'm at a position I'm comfortable in. So it's just a matter of, I know now that I'm comfortable, it's going in the right direction. Okay, so that's just probably personal preference. Just push the wires together if they get a bit of a gap. And then,
good tool that, mine, isn't it?
I love this tool. It's my favourite tool. Okay, just there we go. See, now what I want is I need this the cut to be just at the bottom of the coil, just because if it's at the front you'll see it, and if it's at the back you'll feel it. So I'm just tidying them up so that they're at the bottom. Yeah. Okay, go gentle when you do that. Okay, so now it's looking like that. Yeah. Okay, so that in effect is your pendant actually finished. Now I'm going to take the 1.25 wire. Okay. Oops,
and this is much more, this is again a much hardier, stronger, less malleable but still giving.
Yeah, and I think it's just a nice finishing. It looks thicker, you know, it's got that substance to it. It doesn't look flimsy on your neck. So what I'm going to do is I want to actually cut quite a lot of this off. probably about 1 metre.
Yeah.
Okay. The reason being that there's 2 ways we can do this necklace. I don't know if you can show the back of the necklace.
Of course, can you?
Okay. So if you can use a 1.25 or 1.5, you've got that nice strong wire. It will just mould itself around your neck.
Yeah, you don't
and
have to
need a clasp.
Yeah,
if I can just show you something, so if you just stay there, what you can do, if you don't feel it is going to be strong enough, because some wires are a bit softer than others, what you can do is make the whole thing a bit longer, and then they will just
cross over.
Yeah. Okay, and then they'll just be their own little lock.
Yeah.
All right, so you still can have that look, but you can still have that security if you're a bit worried.
You can have the look, but you can have the lock.
There you go.
And you can have the look and the lock if you want to lock them together.
Okay, yeah. Look and the lock.
There.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with a spiral, and again this is going to be quite a nice open spiral. I'm actually just doing this in little stages because this is a thick wire. I'm just need to do this in quite controlled movements, because I just want it to form. Okay. So it's sort of like that. So it's quite, you know, this is something you can make to size. And a hammer. Okay, I'm not going to hammer, but I would hammer that, yeah.
Or with a good welly or just a little texture?
Proper hammer it, no.
Proper hammer it.
Proper hammer it.
Okay.
Again, it makes it nice and secure then. Okay. So now before we do anything else, add your beads. Don't do anything before you've added your beads. So I've just got a little selection of the beads here.
And this is, Laura's working with the beads from our second offer of today, where we're offering you all of the wire in the copper colour, and on top of that with the purple impression jasper, with these beautiful feature of banded agate, and you can really see those qualities of colour. The nicest thing is that before we came into the masterclass, Laura and I said, gosh, I wonder which colours are best to work with, but then the more you look at them alongside, every colour will go, whether it's the golden hues, whether you're going to go with the honey drops, whether you're going to go for more of the russet tones. There is a lovely spectrum of colour of your brown agate, and then, as I say, you have got your purple impression jasper. Those together, £17.95. Plus, don't forget that we did bring you the bundle of Laura's actual pieces, the actual piece that she's shown as part of the finishing item, with the combination of the ocean and on top of that the agate with the gold wire this time, and that again a great deal. So lots and lots of opportunity to get 2 different looks really, but in the same design, the same principles really. And so
they'd actually both go really nicely together as well, because that copper would go beautifully with the ocean agate. And you know, they'd actually be really a lovely mix.
£19.95 for the second one. Sorry, just as the ocean jasper coins and the black frosted agate, with then the gold coloured copper wire in the 1.25, 1 mil and the 0.4. That's coming in at £19.95. So £19.95 for the second, or should I say it was the first offer that we gave you.
Okay, so what I've done is I've put these beads on. Now with them, sometimes you might have to just wiggle them a little bit, because with this wire, obviously every now and again you might get the odd little subtle wave, and so they will go on. It's just little subtle, you just gently twist it and they'll go on.
Those electrons.
Fine. One thing I forgot to mention is
Sorry.
What I forgot to say was, obviously one thing to bear in mind when you're hammering is if your wire isn't nice and straight.
If your wire's not nice and straight.
Well, when you hammer it, it will hammer in the shape that whatever it is. So if you haven't straightened it and it's got kinks in it, then those kinks will get hammered and it will stay in that shape. So you need to make sure that the wire is as straight as you are happy with before you start hammering it. Okay. So it's just a little something I thought I'd mention.
Good to go. Good to know.
Okay, so I've put them on now. What I've done is I've put the first part of the bail on. Okay. Now what I want to do is pop on a bead.
Oh, because you created that curve to the bail so that you could fit a gemstone in, didn't you?
Yes, that's why I wanted that gap in the middle. Most of these will go on. The odd 1 or 2 won't. If they don't force it, because there's so many on here that will.
Some nice colours as well, though.
Yeah, they're lovely.
Really nice colours.
Clearly fighting me. I tested 1 or 2 and they worked. Okay, just give me a second. It seems to be fighting me now.
Oh, they do that on purpose. See what I mean? Isn't that funny? They're just genuine gemstones. Mother Nature just playing her hand.
Right, so you can see there, I've just put that on and then I've just popped that back on again. So now you bring that up. All right, so you can see actually that's looking really nice together. Okay.
I like that.
And then just another...
Those colours look gorgeous against the copper.
Yeah, they look really lovely. Oh, really complimented.
Yeah, really beautiful. So pretty. And again, you know, when you notice the colouring of them. Yeah. When you see how much of a shading difference, especially when, can I hold that up? If I hold that up like that, you see the shading difference that you've got when you've got the golden colours and then you've got that darker, more russet tone as well. I mean, isn't that just absolutely beautiful that you have that range of colouring when you've got literally like I would say honeydews, and then you've got those beautiful citrus oranges, and then you've got the darker rich russet tones, banding as well, all of that detail, a real luxury quality that you have.
I've got a couple fighting me going on, but all I've do is just put your bead reamer and just, you know, if I had the time to go through each, there will be a lot of them, especially the black ones, they all flew on. But you can see, I mean, I've got 5 on now already, and if I had the time to go through them all, I'd be able to get them on, all right? But because I'm a little bit more pushed for time, I'm not going to do it. But you can get the idea, so you just add another 2 on there. Okay. Okay, and then we just finish off. I'm just going to do one more because it's going to bug me.
I was going to say that really...
It is going to bug me, yeah. Oh, let's see, that one just flew on.
That's why sometimes you just don't even have to think about it. They're just going to do it, aren't they?
It is going to bug me if I don't do it, sorry.
That would bug me too. It's that structure thing, isn't it, that we need? You and I are so similar.
We're not structured, but I'd like it to be finished.
So...
Okay, see, that they went on fine, all right? There you go. Now, if I have my bead board, which I haven't got to hand...
Can I just say, I love those colours together. That
looks really nice, doesn't it?
Beautiful.
If you had a bead board, you can just use that to get a guide of the length.
Yeah,
so you can
how long you want it.
Yeah, how long you want it. Or you can just put it around your neck. Doesn't matter. And obviously I've got far too much here. But again, this is what I was saying about taking into account that you might want it to be longer to lock it. Yeah. And I'm just going to finish off exactly the same. I knew those were going to be my enemy today. Running everywhere. Okay. And again, I'm just literally just doing a nice open spiral. Okay, just to match it. And you would obviously play about with it, make it equal. Now, I'm just going to take this off. I just tend to put it around and play about with it and mould it around. It's probably the bust thing, or if you've got like a nice bust. What I'm going to do now is, I'm just straightening the back. So if I just show you, just making it so that the back sits like this. And then you can mould it around. Okay, and you just keep moulding. That's probably a little bit big, that's probably why it's doing that. But you just shape it with your hands and mould it. And play about with it and make it so that you're happy with it and that it's equal. I would, like I said, have hammered. You can reposition these, and I would have hammered the ends. And then what I want to do, so I'm just twisting these to stop these running away. I would hammer here and here, because when you hammer it, make it flatter, it stops the beads from being able to move up and down the wire. Yeah, makes sense. And then what you would do then is just very gently hammer the rest of it, just to give it, again, help it retain its shape. Okay. Now, if you wanted to just quickly do the extra detail here, you would just cut on this piece. Yeah, you would just simply cut a length of wire off. And which wire is this? 0.4. Okay. Because it's a nice fine wire. Right. Anchor it to the end, so just give it. Obviously, your pendant would be finished, and you wouldn't have wires sort of everywhere. Okay, so I've just wrapped it 3 times just to anchor it there. Okay, and all I'm going to do now is bring the wire over and around, over and around, over and around. And you can bring it through. Again, you would be holding this in a bit of a comfier place, so it would be easier to do. And there we go. See that there? Just go over the bail and then back around. Take a bit more time, make it a bit more neater. And then just going around again. And what the wire's doing is I'm just holding it with my finger as well, so it sits actually on the bead. Round again, and around, and then just do a couple of wraps. 1, 2, 3, so then it looks the same as the other end. And bring it back, the opposite direction.
Well, exactly, just the same again.
Exactly the same. And then just bring it back, but just try to position the wire to go the other side of the other wire, which is crossover like that. So if it's here, I've just got my wire here, I'm just going to bring it across like that. And if it wasn't in the right place, you just wrap it around one more time to get it in the right place.
Yeah.
And bring it back across, and that is basically would be the finished necklace. I know it's still got some wires, but that would be the finished necklace.
That's just a beautiful way of getting quite an extraordinary finish. The nice thing is that what's interesting by using the two different components of, you know, you've gone from the coins of this piece, the demonstration piece, to the piece that you're actually been working on, how different they are, even though you're looking at similar principles, but just by adding a different colour or a different shape or a different wire, how different the results actually are. Really beautiful and very similar, but actually, as you said, no two pieces will be the same, because the colours are so unique in that bundle of colours. Fantastic. Absolutely gorgeous.
And like I say, that shows you, obviously, if you're using the round beads, they are a little bit easier because your wire just goes straight from side to side and then everything else. But if you do have any nice teardrop beads, you know, if you've got this bundle and you're thinking, how am I going to do it, you can see how you can do it, and that wire will just kind of get lost behind all of the spirals anyway, so it just, you can tweak it about a little bit so it disappears, and that's basically it, you know. Amazing.
If you would like to join us and own any of the bundles that we've had within our masterclass, you've got here a combination of incredible qualities. Just to remind you, on top of everything else that we do as part of making your shopping experience as pleasurable as possible, just to remind you, we do offer you a 30-day money-back guarantee here at Jewellery Maker. That's 30 days for you to see for yourself the quality of the gemstone, see for yourself the quality of the wire. If you're not happy, of course you can send it back without a question asked. You send your bundle back and your money will go back into your account, and that is a no questions asked money back guarantee, so it's definitely worth giving it a go. If you like the idea of seeing these, and especially with the frosted finish, maybe you've never seen, I know I've not seen the frosted finish of these stones before, so if you want to see them, you want to see that and feel them, because they do feel almost like satin finished, these black frosted agate. If you want to see them and feel for yourself the quality, you can do so. And as I say, you've got that 30-day money back guarantee with a no questions asked, no quibble money back guarantee that we're offering you. There's the green ocean jasper coins, which are 25mm. There's the frosted agate in the 8mm. Then you've got your combination of your 1.25, your 1mm and your 0.4mm gauge in your gold coloured wire. That's 10 metres of each, so 30 metres in total for £19.95. Then on top of that, we also gave you the alternative colours, and you've seen Laura working with those alternative colours within our demonstration of the class. 1.25 in the copper colour, then you've got the 1mm and you've got the 0.4. We're adding in those gorgeous purple impression jasper and the banded agate. It's those lovely colours of the agate that I think just add another rustic quality, very autumnal shades. Really pretty, beautiful colour complements. And I think that, you know, I think when you see the exposure of that copper wire, just even more colour you appreciate. Love the warmth of that. Really like that copper wire. It's beautiful when you see it in action. You've got it all for £17.95. That is £17.95. 30 metres of wire and the gemstones. A fantastic culmination of quality. And of course, just to remind you that of course you're using one of those centre gemstones of the impression jasper, maybe half a dozen of your banded agate. I mean, that's a lot of opportunity, because of course you're only using such a small quantity to make this design. You've then got the chance to make that design in a different way, in a different way, in a different way, and keep on, you know, exciting your creativity in different ways, because you've got so many ingredients for that £17.95. And finally, you've also got your tools. You've got there your steel block, you've got your chasing hammer with the two sides, the rounded edge if you want to add a real texture, if you've you've got the want to get just for the strength of the wire, you can use the flat. And on top of that, you're going to get your comfort grip around no pliers. They are the comfort grip, which means ergonomically designed to get the very best out of your jewels and your gem jewellery, all for £12.95. That has been your masterclass. It's been a great event. Thank you so much for all of your creativity. We always love them and genuinely love to see the results in the Wall of Fame as well. Bless you. Thank you for your company. We'll see you tonight at 5. Bye-bye.
Tune in to Jewellery Maker on Monday the 21st of October.